Ta-da-da-da-da.
All right, guys.
Are you there,
We're here. We're
Stuart?
live. I am. I am. Hailing frequencies have been established. It's good.
Got a clear signal. And OBS did swap. Now it thinks with the normal volume that I have to swap back to.
Ugh, gotta love OBS. Or you don't have to love it, but
Now
you
it
know.
thinks with the normal volume that I have to swap back to.
Let's see here. So, welcome back, everybody. It's time for another review. We weren't sure if we're doing a review today or something else, but we decided on a review. We'll see what tomorrow holds. But yeah, and if you're wondering about the hat, it's just my hair is awful.
Well, I think that the world of men's hair is starting to go down. So I don't think anyone's going to think anything less of you, Stuart, for having a slightly different hair thing.
Right.
How are you all doing today, everyone? We've tunged and now we're back to tunge. Very different sort of episode this week.
Yeah.
I say this week by default, but it's not. It's tomorrow. Yesterday. No, day before yesterday.
Yes.
I say the concept of weekly. It's not. You know what I mean, guys.
Yes. Well, we have a few super chats to start out, which is awesome. So I'd like to thank everybody that's shown up. We got the regular people in the house, which is awesome.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. So,
Mark Lawrence says, I saw the captain's hair earlier. I understand the hat. Yeah, I sent him a Snapchat. And, yeah.
He's seen the truth. Stuart, let's celebrate our amazing people that help us go. We are smart and we will go, and they are smart and they help us go.
We got some fantastic super chats to start out, which, guys, if you can help us with super chats, please do. These guys are awesome. We got Ozzy, who put in $20, which is amazing.
Crazy, man.
This is all hail the great commander and Super Captain Foley. Remember, guys, the commander's birthday is this Sunday. Skeleton hands.
It is true. It is true. I'm happy to report my local Chinese is back open, which I was worried it wasn't going to be. So I'm thrilled to report I will be able to get Chinese food over the weekend, find birthday, which is a tradition. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Because I've been avoiding Chinese during this to try and make it special again. Because, if you have too many things too often, it's not special.
Well,
but I'm going to pig
that being said, Trekyards is always special, even though they get regular Trekyards every week. So,
but it's different because it's like a TV show. You can just bloody enjoy it all the time.
But you can never binge it because we're never done making it.
It's true.
But that being said, we've got almost 6 years of content you can binge. Yeah. So
speaking of, happy friendiversary. Speaking of 6 years, that happened
on Facebook. Yep.
The shocking realization.
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
It's been a while. And when I made the happy birthday animation of the Foley, I went back out. My original thought was to remake the first intro again, but with the Foley.
Ooh.
Which it would have been cool, and you'd have got that straight away. But it was, I lost the word Foley for a billion years. I've re-lost it. I found it on one hard drive. I put it somewhere, but I can't remember. And then everything scaled wrong, so I couldn't make the lights work anyway. So it would have been a real, more hassle than you'd think. So I thought I'd just make something fresh and more beautiful.
Well, that's always good too.
Because when I did the Legends remastered, I had to rescale every single ship's light. Because I can't reframe. I wanted to make it a 1-to-1 remaster, and so I had to redo 150 lights manually.
Well, that must have been fun.
Meshes. It wasn't.
well, let's get on with the super chats.
Sorry, yes.
Jade Donaldson throws in $5.
Thank you.
Rashomon, the next generation. There, I got that out of the way nice and early. Looking forward to the review.
What does Rashomon mean?
I have no idea. I'm lost.
I'm lost too.
Maybe an explanation will be forthcoming. Who knows?
Thank you, Jay.
In the chat, and we missed it.
Please clarify.
Olivia Julius is here. $10. Oh. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hope you're having a better day than I am. I'm off work till Sunday. I injured my back while at work, but good enough to wish Samuel a happy Fertilizers Day on Sunday. Well, hopefully you feel better, Olivia. Just take care of your back. Back's important.
2 parts thank you, 1 part I'm sorry. I mean, do you just get to quote unquote relax in your truck by not doing things? That means you just get to relax and enjoy time. Not that you can do much with it, but I mean, hopefully, I don't know. Good luck.
Well, Olivia Julius puts in another $5.
Thank you.
Why is it Riker loves a woman she either when Lycra loves a Roman, she does or accuse him of something.
Yeah.
I don't think he loved this woman, but that's, you know.
That's one of those great, it will not clarify what happened, which is kind of not regular. Now, this is going to be interesting to talk about.
Yeah. Olivia Gill shows in another $2. Commander, there's a tribble on your head. Actually, he's cut it a little bit. It looks quite good, actually.
Well, I had it done for yesterday because I've got some clippers and I did the front and the sideburns a bit. I actually had to remove my sideburns, which is why I look a bit more weird. But the sides and back are exactly the same, just the front. And it's amazing how you just change the fringe, the thing everyone sees, and it looks, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's neater. But, you know.
That's better than mine.
Yeah. It's not a Doug look, but I wouldn't want to do a Doug look, so.
No. And another super chat from Bill Devers for $50 with no comment, but thank you very much, Bill. We really appreciate that.
Bill? What are you doing? That's crazy, Bill. You're our favourite person. That's amazing. Wow. Makes it all wow. Dude, thank you.
Comment next time, though. Say something.
Yes, say something. Let us reward you by saying hi more, by you saying hi to us. Say hi.
Yeah. Brutally Honest Art Critic shows up with $2 and with a sticker that says new. Yeah, of course, it's Jill.
I was like, it's a really cool name, and it's just Jill again.
Yeah. And Mark Lawrence is here again with $10. Ooh. At least the husband died before he could only communicate through ringing a bell and soiling himself. Oh. Wow.
Boo.
Yeah.
And Double Guitars asks, will there be Trekyards on Sunday? No, just with Stuart. Our actual birthdays are for us. I think that's fair, guys. And if we get drunk, it'd be the entire day used up. But the next weekend, which means you can both show off presents. I don't know if you've already done that yet or not, but I'm excited to see what you got.
I haven't, really.
Brilliant. So that'll be either Saturday the 13th or Sunday the 14th. We will dedicate the entire day to alcohol, super chats, questions, alcohol, maybe some costume changes, alcohol, super alcohol, and chat booze.
And maybe the Admiral will make an appearance. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm see if I can get Ambassador. I don't know. Around next weekend. Oh, and Bill says, "Eek, sorry, meant to say happy birthday from across the pond." Well, thank you. It's a very pleasant happy birthday. Aww.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, so that's it for the super chats we have to start off the show. This time for Samuel to share and for me to ramble on about.
I actually have an interaction with you about super chats, so now I'm going to jump back.
Yeah. So now it's time for us to talk about super chats and how important they are to the channel. As you guys saw, we got some great ones already. Bill just hit it out of the park with that one, so that's awesome. So thank you very much, and it's a great way to celebrate both my birthday that's passed and Samuel's birthday that's coming up. So thank you very much. We really appreciate that. But all these lives are fantastic because not only do we get to talk to you guys and build a great community, but we also have the chance to support the channel, or you guys have the chance to support the channel and tell us that you like what we do and that you want us to keep coming back to do more. So super chats are a great way to do so. As Jill just put in there, Brutally Honest Art Critic, as she's calling herself, puts in $1.50 with a piece of birthday cake, which is great. So thank you, Jill. Really appreciate that. Yeah, so if you guys want to get your question answered, your comment read, your theory theorized upon, we need to talk about some stuff. So do that. Hold on just 1 second, guys. I just want to do something here. Gotta mute you. Yeah. I just had a notification from Amazon that a parcel arrived, so there you go. So yeah, guys, lots of ways to support the channel. As you see in the links down below, different ways that you can help out and get some cool stuff in the process. One of the coolest things is the Teespring store. We've got some cool Trekyards merch there, which we love seeing people buy and send us pictures of, or seeing them at conventions where they're wearing the shirts or whatever. It's awesome to see the Trekyards brand out there. So essentially, but by advertising for us, big billboard says Trekyards. You can do that as well. So we'll be back from Sharon before we read those. But
we're doing
I really
amazing
appreciate
already.
all that love, guys.
Yeah, it certainly puts a pep in our step.
And now that you're... Yeah, well, Jill gave you a piece of birthday cake for a super chat, so there
delicious.
You go. And Bill is back with $10.
Ah, Bill.
He says, sorry, I thought I put a message for the last one. Happy birthday from across the pond. But I guess I can also add, and to my northern neighbor in Canada. Well, thank you very much, Bill. Much appreciated.
Bill, you're crazy.
Yeah, it was a good birthday. So, yeah.
I'm sure we'll
Olivia Julius again.
Long speech what we did our birthdays. For the Drunk Live. Aha.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Olivia throws in $2. And remember, kids, you're guilty till proven innocent. It's very true.
Well, it's like that with Cardassians as well, which is why it's always interesting to watch their trial episodes, because it's the opposite to everything we hold dear.
I mean, throughout human history, it's been different in different places as well, as far as guilty until proven innocent, or just not even bothered to prove innocent. So,
witches, yeah. If you die, you're not guilty. Wait, what?
Yeah, if you drown, you're not guilty. But if you don't drown, then we're going to burn you because you are guilty. So either way, you're kind of screwed.
So obviously, what the witch does is she pretends to drown and then flies away or disappears after. I mean, it's not even if there isn't an easy way out of that. Idiot people. So Stuart, what did you think of TNG season 3 episode 14, A Matter of Witches? I mean, perspective.
Well, my perspective on it was that it's a good episode going into it, because I really love these episodes where it's he said, she said, and in a criminal sense, where you see different aspects, like the same story told from different perspectives. I always love these. These are always great. And this one always stood out to me as just a cool ending. You know, Riker didn't do it, obviously. I mean, one of the main giveaways is when he beams aboard the Enterprise, he's not holding the phaser. Like, what's he gonna do? Toss it while in transport? And when he does, it falls out of his sleeve. It's one of the little ones. When they show that recreation, but see, there's no doubt that it's not him, or but
yeah, it's not like Data with Fajo, where there's no doubt he did.
So I mean, I enjoyed this one, and I was looking forward to it, and it didn't let me down. It was good. There wasn't quite as much meat there as I remember, though. It just the recreations weren't as detailed as I recall, and it was pretty quick wrap up, it seemed, but it worked out well, and it was a great use of the holodeck and seeing Picard doing his thing again. He's actually a great lawyer, considering we saw him measure a man in this one, and he's calling up the time indexes from everybody's different perspectives or their recreations. So it was great. And then the little mystery of what's happening to the ship with the radiation and how that all gets worked out is great. And Becky Schultz says, "Is that a Captain Proton shirt, Trekyards?" It is. The Adventures of Captain Proton ship.
That's a good render as well.
Yeah.
Huh. Nice.
Got this in a loot crate, I believe, quite a while ago. So yeah, I really like this one, and looking forward to talking about it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's remarkable how often we are not having the same perspective. Like we're shifting on whatever. But it's annoying how similar you just mirrored my own thoughts there. So I'm a bit annoyed by that, Stuart. No, I'm fine. No, in a very similar vein, I was looking forward to it. I appreciate this sort of episode, this one especially, because it's a very well-told piece. But I do remember thinking there was more variances to the story.
Yeah.
There were more stories, there was more... So once they told all four, and it went to Picard saying, right, this is what I think. It's like, oh, is that it? I thought we'd have cool, clever reveal stuff. But that said, it wasn't bad. It was just I was expecting more layers. There didn't need to be, obviously, and obviously there's only so much you could tell with these are the four people that are, there's only so much you can do. That said, it's really fun to watch. Not that it's actually fun to watch, because it's not. It's kind of hard to watch in a sense, but it's a good adult science fiction that uses the full science fiction gambit of the Star Trek universe, but in a very relatable context, because all it is, it's a play. It's a simple love story, ballad, revenge play told from four perspectives, and the meta narrative around that of the people, and so it's played like that. So you appreciate sort of the artistry and the Shakespearean nature of it. But yeah, wraps up quickly, and the beginning. That is one problem though. When you know what is going to happen, you notice Riker at the start is doesn't know it blew up, very oblivious, has no weapon, and instantly then you know second viewing, oh, he didn't do it because there's nothing that shows he did.
Yeah.
Like you would think if they're really clever, they'd say, in the trial and say, computer recreate transporter room this time date. Zzz, beams in and he says, see, Commander Riker did not have a phaser, and the guy's like, he could have dropped it. No, he said it was during beam out, and we saw him during beam out, and we know that like with Farjo, you can detect phasers in transit, and you can deactivate weapons. So that's certainly a problem with the episode. Only on second viewing though, because you forget he didn't have a phaser once you're the first watch, because you don't think about that.
Yeah.
So I think if they were being clever, but if you had, there'd be no reason to have a phaser, and it would have been a very gruesome thing for him to do if he'd really done it. So there's not really a way around that, unfortunately. Like, maybe only if he pulled a gun on Reich, and Reich pulled out the gun and he's lying, but he's lying. Like, part of the point is no one's lying, otherwise Troy could work out someone's lying. So it's a very, you know what I mean? It's a tricky one. The only way they could have done it is this way, but on second viewing it loses something.
Yeah.
But you still enjoy the ride. That was a longer way of saying your thing, but I also enjoy it a lot.
And Troy is kind of useless in this. Detected no deception from her. Everybody thinks they're telling the truth. What? No.
Yeah, and it was weird because when they said at the start, Troy, I'll need you, I'm thinking, great, she gets things to do.
No.
I mean, a little bit, but
and after the one scene with the whole almost rape thing, she's looking at Riker and he's like, what? You know me better than that. Oh, I know, but I sense no deception on her part. I said, wow, thanks.
Anyway, so we start with a very nothing to do with the episode, but still brilliant. They're having a nude painting show in the quite well redressed, in the sense that you take out the conference room, that those nice, it feels different. It feels quite different.
I love that though, because there's so many windows around the rim of the ship. This is just one of the other rooms,
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And it no link at all to the rest of the episode, but I love it. You probably could have removed it and had more meat to the rest of it, but it's such a clever little thing, But summarize, Stuart, what's happening?
Well, Picard is in a painting class. I don't think he's leading the painting class.
People say nudity. Just for the record, they had nude John Delancey first.
Yes.
So male nudity before female nudity. So in terms of feminist equal opportunity, got to make it equal, guys. Mm-hmm. We had some cuteness, and now we have some random ladies. Well, it could be a hologram.
That's what I was wondering. See, that's why this would be cool on a holodeck, because you wouldn't have to worry about somebody, moving. But if somebody wanted to be painted, I mean, you can do what you want in this society, I guess. But
this is a crew member. There's no dedicated nude model or position on the ship just in case. This is somebody that and can you imagine your captain is drawing you nude, like you're at the top of the 1,000-person triangle. But that's what's happening, and he's just part of this class, this expression of whatever. I wouldn't necessarily call Picard a painter. No. I love that's also the joke of the scene, but it's nice to see him do other things. He's always, he gets some of the least outside of work things. So to see him do this is actually really I completely forgot this was a thing, and I was really refreshing to see this, actually.
Maybe this was her a casting couch. She applied for a position on the Enterprise, and Picard's like, well, if you're willing to do this, then no, I wouldn't turn Picard into that.
I can't know an officer, truly know them, so I paint them nude. All my officers went through this. I have 998 paintings in my quarters.
Yeah, then he shows his shame quarters, which is like a long hallway with just paintings of everybody like Riker, and it's just really disturbing. Anyway, goddamn. Mark Lawrence, $5. Someone needs to edit in Ed Mercer flying his shuttle outside the window here.
Yes. Yes.
That's good.
I like it.
Yeah, so anyway, a few people are doing this painting, and basically Data comes in and says it's time for their job here's done essentially, and then he kind of critiques everybody's artwork
with fancy, complicated, well-meaning words.
Yeah, and there's some good paintings. I mean, the guy's painting's not too bad. The girl's doing more like it's more like the shape of a cello or a violin.
Yeah, I was like, you haven't drawn a person there, you know. What have you done here?
No, it's art is whatever you want it to be, right? And the female body is shaped like that, so I like that.
Yeah.
And it looks like it forms into legs as well. But
yeah.
And then go back to Picard's, and we saw Picard's in like a little bit earlier. They don't show it again, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Data's like, and he starts going off. I didn't write it all down because, whatever.
Well, the joke is he doesn't say anything. He Data, the man that is so smart, has to try and say nothing while saying something.
Yeah.
So it's a very well written piece, and Picard's face
goes from happy to okay, fine.
it's a genuinely priceless scene, actually.
Yeah,
it's really nice, actually. And two comments. Dan23 says, "But is she an officer? There are civilians on board. I just meant everyone's part of the crew. I didn't say the officer, just part of the crew."
Yeah.
And Matt Baldwin says, "Yes, the naked hallway thing is behind the fish tank. Secret door behind the fish tank."
Yes. It goes around the whole rim of the ship. It's all in the hallways. Yeah. Olivia Julie throws in $5. Is Q in the shame gallery? Is that why he showed up naked? Maybe.
Well, if you're part of the crew, you'll need to do one thing.
Yeah.
What's that, Picard?
He wanted to be part of the crew, so he just showed up naked and like, here we go. That's my submission, my application.
Red alert is Picard's safe word to start painting.
Oh, good God.
So, we are back at regular 47.
Oh, yeah.
It's not regular one, Stuart. It's not regular one.
No, I didn't write it down, but they're in orbit around Tanaka 4.
And what a weird choice for... Like, I loved the idea of the planet model until you realize it's a civilized planet, and it's like, is it all covered in ice?
Good point.
Because it looks like an ice moon, and yet... Normal...
It could be one of the moons of the planet. Because it's not very big. With that curve? Yeah. I don't know.
No, that's true. I mean, they do say beam down, but they could easily be in orbit of the moon. I mean, it's a very dangerous research he's doing, theoretically. Don't do it in orbit of your planet. No, that's good. I like that. Yeah.
So it could be that the base and the generator is down on the moon. But yeah.
You know what, Stuart? Headcanon. There you go.
Yeah.
I like it.
So they're experimenting with Krieger waves, and Riker is still down on the station, but he's going to be beaming back over, and Geordi and Picard kind of have how are things going, Mr. LaForge? Well, Dr. Apgar and Riker are having a kind of talk right now, and I'll let Riker fill you in on it. He seems very uncomfortable with the situation.
And this is the most important part of the episode when you watch it, because without this, it's all he says, she said against Riker. Yeah. It's only because of this, because you could assume everything Riker said was true. He's not. Why would he lie? And but this is the thing that makes you think, okay, if Geordie's uncomfortable and legit is like, he should tell you, then you know something dodgy's going on of some kind. This is the important scene. Although I kind of wish we'd seen Geordie's recreation.
Yeah.
Like, who was really flirting with who? Because that would have been fun to see. Because he was there. I mean, he only saw the first bit. But hey.
Well, the first bit's pretty much the same about both. Although she shows a lot more. She shows a lot more like a caring wife. In her version.
The difference in the attention, though. Either Riker shows attention or she shows attention, or which was true.
Yeah.
Because Riker was not interested until she kind of forced herself on him, and then.
And I honestly thought there was a version, Geordie's version, in this, going into this episode, and I've seen this multiple times. Yep. It would just make sense because they do say they get depositions from everybody that was there. So I always thought there was one.
Intent. It's like, why is he uncomfortable? What did he see? What if he was with the assistant in the corner? He looks back and he sees Riker looking at the lady. The lady touches his arm and he smiles and he's like, Riker, oh god. And maybe he asks the assistant, are they happily married? And she's like, no. Like that. Those sorts of levels would have been good to add a little bit of will they, won't they? Small things, obviously, but it's a good episode. It's worth things. But this could have done with being a 50-minute Discovery style, just to have a bit more fleshed outness.
Yeah.
Kind of like the data one is also longer.
Yeah. We're down in the transporter room, and Chief LeBron is trying to get him back, and all of a sudden there's a big power dip, and suddenly the station explodes.
Vaporizes, really.
Yeah. And it's a pretty cool explosion. You see some debris flying at the ship, which is great.
But no shields on, or no hit the shields, or they weren't... I think
they were far enough away.
Yeah.
They probably just zoomed in on them.
Yeah, that's what I would think too. But it's very abrupt. There's literally no warning. I mean, that is the point. There is no warning. And then I love that because, like, did you get Riker? Did you get him off? And Brian's like, not yet. And it's like, well, either he's dead or he isn't. Tell me what. But Brian is good. He does beam him over, and Riker's a little bit confused. He sensed the beaming took longer than normal, but he's normal. He's not holding anything. He's not doing anything special. Brian's super chill about it. He says, "Oh, glad I got you out before things went wrong." Wait, what went wrong? It exploded, and he does the very dramatic looking off to a camera that isn't there, but it is there, which makes you wonder: is he surprised? Is he, as in first viewing, doesn't say, "Oh my god." Is he looking like, "Oh, it did work, shit," or "Oh, didn't mean for that to happen," or is he thinking, "What? The lady I just slept with is dead"? Like, it's not how you'd react normally, necessarily. So what is he thinking in this moment? Like, what did you take from it, do you think?
I thought it was done for dramatic tension.
Yeah.
Because it's not something... Because the first thing would have been like, what happened? And he probably would have jumped behind the console and started checking readings in other episodes, right? This one was just done for, like, dramatic tension. And because, I was just... That guy's a bit of an asshole. So I'm kind of happy he's just killed. But at the same time, what happened? Because I just beamed off.
Yeah.
Everything was fine.
Yep.
Confusion.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty, it's like if one day we were filming and then the next day I told you, oh, my webcam, my microphone, my computer all died. And you're like, okay, what? You know what I mean? Although, yeah, no, I remember, he's probably thinking, good, he won't write that report now. The report say I tried to seduce his wife, even though she seduced me, they both sort of seduce each other. Oh no. That one report I have to be filed under. But anyway, cut to titles, back, and no, the transporter's fine. Everything worked fine except, the destruction of a space station.
Well, Picard's asking him, did you find out what caused the power dip? And he's like, no. He's like, well, I want to know, and so will...
Yeah.
So will they. They'll want to know what's going on. Yep. And Riker's just staring off into space. Mm-hmm. Literally, because the view screen's probably on a star field. Just saying. Staring off into space. Never mind. Anyway, and probably like, glad I'm alive.
Seriously,
That could have gone wrong. What happened? The confusion must be... Because you got to remember how the situation played out. I mean, they had a little bit of a back and forth, and then the guy went and sat down, and he beamed out. And all of a sudden, he's being told that the station exploded. Like, what?
And, I mean, because beaming is there must be a slight sensory confusion, because either it's instant or it's not, but there's still a sense of I've lost time, because it isn't instant, but you are losing seconds of your life of perception. So there must be some sense of confusion there. And then because what if you were stuck in transport limbo for 10 years, and then, it's the same sort of, wait, what, something happened in between? What?
Well, like Scotty was in there for like 70 years. So.
Yeah.
But just so they confirm that the radiation and debris patterns are indicative of an overload in the station's reactor core. So, yay. And then we get
yay, but...
Well. And then we get word that, Picard's staring at Riker like, what's going on kind of thing. He looks concerned. And then we find out that Chief Investigator Craig is coming aboard for some reason. And Picard's like, well, maybe you should probably tell me what's going on before he gets here. Because he knew something was going on because of Geordi. So
just something, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think that ever transpires because Picard doesn't kind of let on. I don't know. That's a good... You think it'll be a quick conversation in the ready room during this next scene where he's beaming in, Worf goes down and meets him and basically escorts him to the bridge. And we find out that he's being taken into custody, or supposed to be taken into custody on suspicion of murder. Dun, dun, dun.
Right? Pretty abrupt.
Yeah.
Now it is tricky because we are left to wonder, and yet not wonder. It's hard to say the characters we know and like so well do something. Murder is different to oops, we did something wrong. Versus there are different levels, and murder is a very abrupt thing. But I mean, really, even first watching, did you ever really think he did it?
No.
No. It's true. No. What was remember the one where Scotty's exact same thing of stabbing a lady?
Yeah, Wolf in the Fold.
I don't remember. He didn't do it, did he? Or did he do it?
With Jack the Ripper.
I know he got drunk and he doesn't remember, but I don't remember if he did or didn't do it in the end.
I don't know. He didn't. It was somebody else that did it, and he caught the body, and it's covered in blood.
Yeah.
But he got possessed on the way out of the other guy's body, so he didn't remember exactly what happened. But he didn't do it.
Yeah,
if I recall correct.
But it is hard to do that with heroes, and we know Riker. He's very by the book and very nice, and it's like,
Well, we got 2 super chats. Jeff Jacobs, $2, 52. Nice. 100 will be better. # Riker's hormones go wild. And James McGill puts in $2. Seems teleporter rules often change due to writing. Yeah, they're very convenient as far as the plot goes.
Mostly the same, but yeah, sometimes they have slight tweaks.
Yeah. Well, the worst thing about this scene, though, is because the guy comes in and says, I want to take you into custody on suspicion of murder in front of the entire bridge crew. Mm-hmm. And Picard's like, well, maybe we should continue this in private. And then he makes, and he says it very authoritatively. Yep. Number one, you have the bridge. Like, I still have a complete faith in you that this is just, but everybody else is like looking at Riker, and Riker's like, what?
Yeah.
It's just such an awkward scene because all your coworkers, are like, what's going on? And Geordi knows there was some tension, there's some problems. So it's a weird situation.
But then also you wonder, do these guys really think he could have done it? I know there's that moment of hesitation, but how often is there a similar situation where an alien did it, or this, or this, or this, and like, I think you can never do that. And they don't dwell on it much, luckily. It isn't about the crew thinking not. Although it is a bit funny, you said, I like that, Picard showing his trust in Riker, but he says, you've got the bridge, even though now he's an accused murderer and a criminal in their society, so you've just given an accused murderer criminal command of a starship. 1 second after being accused. It's a funny, like... Yeah.
For a second there, I thought, okay, lock the ready room door. I want you to go to the planet, and I want you to destroy every living thing on it.
So, he put me in charge, Data. Technically, I'm in charge. Yes, I'm technically right. Okay, fire. No, it's funny. I do like the power play as well of he was going to go to the ready room. He's like, nope, there's not. Nope. Private does not mean with you. Even though you would think you would... I mean, do you think it was right when he says later on, oh, it's not appropriate to talk to you in private? Because wouldn't you think you'd need to hear his side? I could get both sides. What do you think?
Considering it was Picard's ship, Picard insisted that the extradition trial or thing be done on the Enterprise. Means he was the ultimate judge and in charge of the decision, so it would show favoritism, even though it's his first officer, so there's already that there. So yeah, it was kind of weird, but at the same time, I understand why it didn't happen or why he said that. Just for the records on the book, kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, I'd want to know what's going on
because it's like the first responsibility is finding the information, but I guess you're right. He wants it all on the record, so he's going to hear the truth. Just he wants to hear it in front of everybody. Yeah. So I guess he can react. But it's like you would want to know what happened first.
So, but it makes you think that conversation that he said they should have had before he showed up didn't happen.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Because he sent Worf to the transporter room, then said that to Riker. Yeah. Transporter room 3 is probably like it's on deck 3 or 4 or something like that. So it wouldn't take long to get there and back, but still, nothing was said. I don't know.
Well, no, the way he was looking out, he was thinking. But I wonder what would that conversation have been? What would he have divulged and in what perspective? Because the way he delivers the information in the holo, it's very... Because now he knows he's being charged, he's going to say it in a certain way, even if he doesn't mean to. Whereas saying it directly to a friend in confidence is going to be... That would have been interesting how they'd have written that. Oh, I tried to... she really dug me and I tried to say no, or like, would have been interesting.
Yeah, there were some misunderstandings and we kind of clashed a little bit over the wife. There was some shit going on. But I love the look that Worf and Geordi kind of give each other before the next scene. It's like Geordi's like, and Worf's like, I don't know. It looks like Geordi and him might have talked about what happened. It's like Worf kind of knows. Yeah.
I mean, that's a small bridge. When you see it in those long shots, you realize actually how small it is and how non-full it is. And yeah, they're going to talk because they don't know anything's wrong. So they're going to talk just because they want to know and want to chat. Absolutely, yeah. They all know.
So in the ready room, basically there's proof that there were threats against Dr. Apgar, the guy says. And that in their society, Riker is guilty until proven innocent. And right now you're in our jurisdiction. I went over the Federation guidelines, and Picard says, well, if you also went over them, you'd know that the captain gets to decide if the extradition is warranted, if you continued reading them. So I want to protect the rights of my officers. And the guy's like, no, we got to do it on the planet because we need to basically recreate everything that happened step by step, moment by moment, step by step, everything leading to the explosion. We will need to access all the witnesses and access the station's ground computers. It will be impossible to recreate here. And Picard's like, Mr. Data, come here. So he asked him if it's possible to recreate it in the holodecks, and Data says, yeah, this is what I'll need. And the guy's like, okay, fine. I'll give you access to everything you guys need. We'll do it here. So I love how, even though you're not supposed to like this guy because he's the prosecutor, he's just doing his job.
Oh yeah.
And he's very open-minded. Like the way he, agrees to do it on the ship, and then at the end, says, "I'm very sorry, Riker." Like he apologizes and everything. I like this character.
I mean, agrees to go on the ship is a misstatement because he was not given a choice. That's the whole point of the scene.
Yeah,
he was forced to say, if you want this trial, you'll do it here. Okay, fine. But obviously he didn't make a stink. But I mean, you can't make a stink because can you defeat the Enterprise? No. Then F you, But yeah, I agree. He's a balancing act. Kind of like the cop from 2 weeks ago or 2 episodes ago. It's like, balanced enough. It's all about the truth. Although, obviously in that society, he's presenting, and he's doing it properly. Like, he's acting as if Riker's guilty because in that society you are. So it's the right balance. Now it makes me wonder. He wants to get him down to the planet to recreate what happened, and yet the idea of a holodeck seems to be foreign. Otherwise, they would just say, "We'll do it up." The fact he has to explain a holodeck means they don't have holodecks, or at least something not as advanced. So what were they going to do then?
I would say something not as advanced. Maybe something.
Because it's difficult, because the way it's presented is that it's oh look, we have this cool technology called a holodeck. It would be great if the guy said, yeah, I know, that's what we were going to do.
Well, they didn't really go out of their way to explain the holodeck too much, so I think they knew about holographic technology somewhat. Yeah, but yeah.
So I get the sense they might have actually rebuilt part of the station or what. It just seems the way they framed it is odd. I know it's for the audience, but what would they have done then?
Yeah.
What would have their have been?
That'd been cool to see. Explanatory Live says, how do you super chat? Well, Dan23 answered him. There's a little $sign. Depends whether you're on PC or mobile. There's a little $sign underneath the chat. You click that and you can select the amount. Same with mobile. You just close the live chat, check the little $sign. It might not be available on iOS device if you have an Apple. But anyway, check it out if you can. But thank you.
And the thing is, we read any super chat that comes up. So you put your comment, thought, whatever.
Skeleton.
Just a quick video to.
Yeah, we're kind of made to, aren't we? And that's okay. It's okay.
So we're back on the bridge now. Picard comes out and says, "Look, we want full cooperation here. I want depositions from everybody, everything you've seen, everything you heard on the station." And Riker says, "Captain, may I have a word with you?" He says, under the circumstances, number one, I feel that would be inappropriate.
I love Frakes' genuine discomfort and nervousness, and you do sense there's real, oh, Riker, what did you do? Which I like. It's well played by them. I mean, everyone's acting is very good in this episode. I think one of the better, it's so good you don't even think about it sort of episodes,
Yeah, the acting's really great in this episode, for sure. So
And he asks
then we
Troy
get
as well, I believe, in this scene, that he wants Troy's help. And then it doesn't
Yes.
quite pan out particularly, but hey-ho, at least she's there.
Yeah. Well, he walks out on the bridge and he says, Geordi, Mr. Worf, Counselor Troy, kind of ignoring Riker. I need your help to do this kind of thing. Anyway, then we get a commercial break. And we get a voiceover from Data when it comes back. And it says, programming of the holodeck has taken 18 hours and 11 minutes.
Second in command, second commander's log. It's quite fun.
Yeah, yeah. And they're walking down to the holodeck. We find out also there'll be an 8.7% margin of error, but they've inputted everything. There's almost an exact replica of the station, and I love how Data's like, yeah, we're going to need orthographics of the station and the equipment, and it's like, yeah, it's Trekyards talk, man.
It really was, yeah. Which is fun. They want to get exact because you don't, schematics should be enough, but they want really precise stuff, and obviously that does come into play very specifically later. And I gotta say, I like this set. It again feels to me like a Playhouse set, kind of simple, but with a few flourishes, like the tech in the middle. But it's a very effective set, and it does honestly feel like a regular one set. I could see this being inside the inside.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I appreciate that. And obviously the the hollow split people shots are excellent. They're very, very well done. They're flawless as far as I can tell. So well done them.
Well, that being said, you can tell when they're in front of the green screen sitting at the table, though, because the outline around them is a little bit fuzzy.
Well, they're also out of focus, though.
For when you know there's going to be a transition, you can just tell it's a green screen shot, though.
Yeah, I mean the lighting's perfect, and
yeah.
But you can always tell the green. That's just part of the thing. But I think they're just very well done, considering. And we get introduced to the Doctor, an assistant with very long hair. They all have interesting hairstyles. The detective guy has a parting. The dude has a pointy parting or pointy sides. She has a beehive, and the wife.
They look like there's something out of a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah.
Like Whoville.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So Riker says, I just went there to evaluate Dr. Apgar's progress on the development of the Krieger wave converter. Then we get the first recreation.
Oh, thanks, Goran. Appreciate it. We like you too.
Oh, thank you. So we get introduced to the wife, Manua, I think is her name. Yeah. And then the doctor's kind of a little bit pissy. He's like, I resent this early arrival. Starfleet will get its converter. I've just had a few setbacks, that's all. My reports weren't scheduled for another 3 months. Why are you here? Basically, we were in the sector. We're checking out some other stuff and thought we might as well just, you've requested additional whatever. I have it written down later. I didn't write it down here.
Well, it's a thing to make crystals, but yeah.
Yeah. So we're in the sector already. We're going, the Enterprise is going to investigate in a day or two. I forget what it was. And we've already made arrangements to stay on the planet. Geordi and I have made arrangements. We got a hotel.
Which I like the attention to detail there.
Yeah. She's like, no, I insist that you stay here with us. So, I was gonna say she takes them out. This is the next scene then.
Yeah, and what's fun about this is that there's 4 versions of this, each with like I said at the start, it's a great way of same scene, different acting, but because each version of them, all versions of them are fictional, they're only being given cues as to how to act. Meaning, Riker's said in his report he was stoic and didn't respond, and she was being very flirty. And the computer takes that to the extreme. So each version pushes the subtlety out of the window a little bit and just projects it because it's all fiction. And so the way she's flirting is blatant and too much and la la la. Where he flirts is creepy and blatant, whatever. But it's a nice conceit of you get to have these very alternate, very, very alternate performances that are all extreme because that's the entire point. And so it's a very good narrative thing because she's, it's so blatant that in reality the Doctor would be like, what are you doing? Stop. Come on. We're married 44 years.
Yeah.
What are you But it doesn't matter in this context. And obviously then you're thinking, well, he's sensing the smaller cues as bigger cues. If this isn't the truth, then this is exaggerated because he thinks she's flirting a little bit, but he sensed it more. He's projecting more than it is. So it's great. It's perspective rather than
Yeah.
It's just good stuff. It's a good idea for a story.
Mm-hmm. So they raise glasses and say, to the Traeger waves, to your success on your work, and the rewards that come with it, which is important later, as she says. And then he's like, I gotta go do some stuff. He puts his drink down and leaves. And she's like, I must apologize for my husband's lack of social graces. He's one of the most brilliant minds, but he does come short in other areas. Which, with the way she said it, he's short in the bedroom. And she's kind of flirting at that point, obviously.
Yeah.
So, small thing, but
I mean, it's good scenes, and there's also other subtleties. Like she says, in his version, she is annoyed by his research. They're not very close. He's all about the work. She doesn't care. It's played for what it is, and it's a hard thing to write, this sort of episode, because you've got to make the same scenes but very different. But also it's a problem with the cheaper episodes, because it's the same 3 scenes again and again. But yeah, it's good stuff, and a lot of weird looks, and it's too forward, and yeah.
So then we see the quarters. She's like, "These are our guest quarters." Riker's like, "I'll be very comfortable. Thank you very much. I'm very tired." Yeah, I'm very tired. She's like, "Here's the environmental controls. This is how you close the door." She closes the door on him, and
nice and seductive as well. Oh look, my hand slipped.
Yeah, and she puts her negligee down or whatever, and he pulls it back up.
Like a gentleman. He's like, no.
Yeah, and that's when he comes in, and he slaps his wife, and then goes to punch Riker, and Riker sidesteps it, and he falls down.
Such a funny little moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he's the boss man, isn't he? Not only is the guy dicks who hit his own wife, and he's misunderstanding, and he's pussy enough to miss this moment as well. So it's a nice, but you wonder, the more you watch these, you think, well, this scene in particular is radically different each time. Which one was the right one? Either you punched him, he punched you, he missed a punch, or, they can't all be true.
That would be easy to find out, though, medically. You can see whether you got hit. You can see whether there was damage to the knuckles. I mean, you'd think that would be...
Yeah.
Punch anybody, you're going to have knuckle damage. And especially with the tricorder, they'd be able to tell if it was, I'm just saying.
But then it cuts to a shot of Riker going, zzz, okay, I've healed it. But you know what I mean? This is weird that this scene's the most different one.
Yeah.
Which is true, and you never get the answer. Was Riker interested? Was she interested? It's good.
Well, Dermentia throws in $5. If you imagine the background music being the Pink Panther theme, this whole episode becomes funnier. Dun 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 dun. That'll make anything funnier, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, she follows him out of the room, and then we get the confrontation before he leaves, where he's like, "What exactly are you going to put in your report, Riker? That there's no reason for all the extra dicillium that I've requested? I can explain why I need it." And Riker's just like, "I just want to get the hell out of here."
Yeah.
She's, I'm ready to leave now.
I don't care if you put a bad report in. I'm just.
Yeah.
We're done.
And then he beams out, and the prosecutor's like, "That's it? You didn't fire a phaser?" And Riker's like, "Huh?" And that's when we find out the evidence that the explosion was caused by something coming from Riker's position as he beamed out, which is comparable to a phaser.
They're very careful in the next scene, saying phaser-like discharge.
Yes.
Very careful. But it is a fun curveball. The exact position Riker is. I mean, there's not many ways you can take that. I mean, you talk about Sherlock Holmes, the most simplest explanation is the real one. Well, yeah, he fired a phaser from his position. That is the most logical explanation. The other explanation is far more far-fetched. But it's a nice curveball here. It's a nice curveball.
And the prosecutor even says to Picard, "Didn't your sensors detect an energy drain just as Riker began transporting?" "We did indeed." A focused energy pulse was fired as Riker was leaving. Came from the very spot that he was standing. Allow me to show you my recreation of the end of this story. A speculation, if you will.
They're not happy about that, because this is very Dodge to do full fiction like this.
Yeah.
But it is a nice curveball. It's a nice curveball. And the prosecutor even says to Picard, "Didn't your sensors detect an energy drain just as Riker began transporting?" "We did indeed." A focused energy pulse was fired as Riker was leaving. Came from the very spot that he was standing. Allow me to show you my recreation of the end of this story. A speculation, if you will.
They're not happy about that, because this is very Dodge to do full fiction like this. Yeah, yeah.
dodge.
But based on the evidence they have, it seems like a pretty solid conclusion, though.
Except the fact that he didn't have a phaser on him.
True. That's never brought up. It bugs me to no end.
Because, I mean, okay, my gut says a phaser beam would not cause a transporter, what was the word used? Power
drain? Yeah.
That's not what would happen. I always assumed the power drain was because the electricity bounced back and it caused a thing. That's what... You know, a phaser wouldn't do that. The phaser would...
But the problem is, Chief O'Brien didn't have a reason for the power drain. And Picard asked him that earlier. So that line it was included that they didn't know what caused it. Could have been anything.
But you could disprove that by just beaming to the surface, firing a Type 1 phaser off into the distance, then beaming up and say, well, no, there's not a power drain.
Yeah.
The computer knows you're firing a phaser, deactivates it. Like, that's not how transporters work. We've seen it multiple times. We know exactly that. You know what I mean? So that's me knowing Trek too well, though. We're only in Season 3. This is the new era. It's not as defined. Already I know that's not what transporters do or don't do. Now, if it was an alien gun, fine. You know, whatever. Yeah. But...
Which would have made more sense, because why would he beam over with a phaser? If there's something in the lab he could have used, like a tool or something that he could have fired and then dropped just before the transporter beam, you know, because none of it really makes any sense.
I thought that too, but also, I mean, the Type 1 is so small, why not have them all-the-way missions?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
Well, I love how when they show him firing it, it's like in his sleeve, and it just falls down into his hand, but then you see him beam up, and it's not like he drops it. It's not like he tosses it. It's obviously caught in the stream with him. It would have beamed up with him, right? So,
yeah, it's the plot hole that is, you know.
Yeah.
Needed one more level, you know, one more level of fun thing.
Yeah. And Aravid Sonder puts in $2. Nice hat, Captain. I want one in blue. Thank you. I forget where I got this one, but there's command, there's engineering, there's sciences. I do have a Trekyards one too, but it doesn't say command. It just has the yellow stripe and the Trekyards logo up here, which I had made myself. And Squadron Course, $2. Occam's phaser.
Oh, Occam's razor.
Yeah, Occam's phaser.
Good. That's good. I like that. But yeah, I love Riker's expression, because I mean, you clearly can tell he doesn't think he's guilty, and he would know if he shot the station or not. That's another reason why it's hard to sort of... Like, it would have been nice if the discharge that affected the transporter wiped his memory as well.
Oh, good God.
Like, let's add some of the levels. Like, he doesn't know if he did it or not. All he remembers is up to the slap, or the punch, and then it goes black, and then it cuts to other memories. That would have been fun, for sure. But again, do you really want to think our heroes are guilty? Because this episode is more about finding the true evidence within circumstantial and how law should work, rather than are guys actually guilty, because they don't really dwell on it specifically.
Yeah. But then they're basically looking at the readings, the sensor log playbacks on the bridge, and they say, yep, there was a phaser-like blast, right before the beam initiated. SWTX Chaser throws in $2.
Thank you.
Jason Bourne Riker.
Yeah. I get you.
So, and then even Geordi's like, because Wesley's like, it couldn't have been from Commander Riker. It wasn't from Commander Riker. And Geordi's like, but how do you explain that it came exactly from his position? Yep. Which is great. And then we get interrupted with a radiation burst on deck 29, which is important later, outside Cargo Bay 12. And then we cut down to the radiation damage, which is kind of cool. And what kind of radiation could do this? I don't recognize it. Not even the main deflector puts out that kind of spillage. Yeah. Capable of putting a hole in solid uranium. So, there we go.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a curve. It's another weird curveball, this. You're like, why is this in here? why is this suddenly a story? Although radiation and waves, it's not a very... They don't hide the fact this is clearly, to do with this.
But yeah, they said deck 29 in that scene, and that's important later, which we'll get to. Anyway, then we're back on the holodeck, and they bring the wife in, and I don't think introductions are necessary. You've already kind of met her. Like, well, that's kind of rude, but okay. And she says, "I just know he did it. He killed my husband."
Pretty damning.
Yeah.
But then you got to wonder, though, if this is what she really thinks. Like, they don't give her very much in this episode. Like, you would think she'd be the most important witness, theoretically. She has all this backstory knowledge. She has, was she flirting, was she not? What does she know research or not? She's underplayed for sure.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes some sense that she's the grieving widow. She's in shock. This is the next day. I mean, how do you even process this the next day? I get that, but you would think it'd be more focused on her part. Slightly odd, But again, I guess she just thinks this is what happened and nothing else to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. A little weird with her bit.
Well, I think there might be a little bit of revenge there because she was coming on to Riker probably, and he brushed it off, and she kind of might want to get back at him a little bit for that. She actually probably does think that he killed her husband. She doesn't know what happened until the very end, obviously. So not only did he kill her husband, but he was rebuffing her advances earlier. So yeah, she'd have a little bit of a vengeance thing, and that would alter your reality as far as the events of what happened. So yeah. So we see her recreation, and in her recreation, Riker actually says, "I'd like the Forge and I to stay here till the Enterprise returns." She's like, "Ew, that's a little inconvenient."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the level of creep looks from Riker is pretty extreme. I mean, that if that's what she really saw, or maybe it's maybe it's the guilt factor. Maybe she feels guilty for coming on to him a little bit, and therefore she, in her mind, thinks that he was sending all of the signals that she responded to.
Yep.
Because it's so the opposite. But again, they both can't be true because she's so not and he's so creepy.
The truth is always in the middle.
Well, yes.
There's always each side of the story. The truth is always in the middle. It's never one or the other.
That's why Geordie would have been a better look here.
Yeah.
But again, you got to leave the suspense. But we did just see Riker go after some girls very recently, and we both commented on that. So this is very in character for him. Not the creepy side, but the instant. Married Woman's different, a bit more dodge Riker. But again, they are allowed to push the boundaries way beyond, and I gets to be a real bit of a creep here. And boy, isn't she the dutiful wife who holds her husband and supports his work? Yeah. In this version, oh yes,
yeah.
And I like Riker's little way of looking like, what is this? This is not what happened.
Again, that can be guilt. After somebody dies, that's what you would have wanted to do. Now that they're dead,
yeah.
But and so your retelling of it, you might ramp that up a bit so you seem more like a better spouse, right? So
and you can't disqualify. She has got a lot of grief right now. She didn't even think she had to process these events.
Yeah.
Who knows what grief is a lot of weird things. There are times that if this was happened like 10 years ago, sort of thing. I know that we all have memories that we think we have, but they are memories of memories of things that we saw on like I remember certain things that I only saw on video, but I don't have memories of them because but you remember it was the last day, so it can't be that for this. But you can really.
And every time you remember something, you actually remember your previous memory of it, so it gets altered. It's like the photo or the telephone game; it gets altered a little bit each time. So we get a different scene with the celebration of the glasses, and it's the Dr. Abgar that says, to my work, whereas the other time he was very much distant and didn't want to be there. So just a small scene, and then we get the bedroom scene again, and wow. So Riker comes on full creep mode, and says, a man more interested in Krieger ways than a beautiful wife like you? How is that possible?
No, Riker, no.
Yeah, and she wants to leave, and he's the one that closes the door and grabs her and pulls her close. Puts the thing, starts taking her clothes off, essentially.
And then
and it should be said too that in his recreation, when Dr. Abgar comes in, he says to his wife, You should have known that I would catch you together. I saw how you were looking at him. In this one, when he comes in, he says to Riker, I should have known you'd be here with her. I saw how you were looking at her. So,
yeah,
worth pointing that out anyway.
Yeah. I think for the...
And later, in the last one, it's different again.
Yeah, Find You Both Together, I think, is the last one.
I saw how you looked at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting about this is that from this moment when they pause it, Riker says, I didn't rape her. It's like they go straight to the word, which I didn't expect to hear in... Obviously, we had rape gangs in season 1. Okay, fine. But it was a bit of, like, that's what's implied, but for them to say that on screen is like, oh, shit, no censoring here. But
Riker's like, it didn't happen that way. I didn't rape her. It's like, whoa.
Well, I didn't try to, yeah.
You believe me?
But I mean, if this is not what happened, he knows instantly. Like, you can't. Doesn't matter how much what you think happened. You know you weren't forceful.
Yeah.
So he's thinking, what the absolute F? This is total shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he stands up and looks at himself. And at this point, I was thinking, okay, Troy, what do you sense? Because you know that you see everyone in the room. Oh. But then again, is she allowed to interrupt? Because then that would change people's opinions. But surely she could sense people's, are they lying? Is this right?
It should be pointed out. Should be pointed out too before that though that he assaults the doctor multiple times. Well, his stunt double does. Not a very good stunt double either. Wow. But yeah. So and then he says, if you report this, you'll regret it. He threatens him before the simulation ends.
Yeah. And also, I didn't realize that both face palms were back to back. The famous face palms. I had no memory.
This is another meme episode, just like the last one.
Back to bloody back.
Dementia puts in $5.
Thank you.
Everyone's stories are so different. Do Krager waves have hallucinatory effects as well?
That would have been fun.
Yeah, it would have been a good reason for him to not remember exactly what happened before he left, too, before he transported out.
But then everyone would be in the right. As in everyone, you know what I mean?
I'm just trying to justify what you said earlier about losing his memory for that part, right?
Yeah.
Area 51, $5. That picture of Riker yelling, "Oh, come on, she's barely an 8. I hit on 9s and 10s only."
Or any woman that says yes straight away. What?
Yeah. But then we get the scene, with him and Troy, and he's like... And she's looking at him like... The way she's looking at him is just... She's not saying anything, and he's like, what? You know me better than that. And she says, I didn't sense any deception from her. It is the truth as each of you remembers it. Is it, though?
But it's different.
Yeah.
But then you ask the question, this is a new alien race never met before.
True.
Are they more in control of their emotions and feelings? So that's instantly what I thought, which would add another level to this. Or they've got such powerful conscious, they can suppress the subconscious, so all they sense is the active emotions rather than what they feel deep down. Because if this is exactly how they both saw it, well, they're opposite. You can't be that different,
And I also want to point out too, before Picard left, he got up and walked out. Before he did, he put his hand on Riker's shoulder, like a very reassuring, like, I know you didn't do that. He didn't say it, but the way he did it, it wasn't a light tap. It was a full-on shoulder.
Well, it's doubly important because before he does walk out, his tone is clearly, oh shit, he might have done it, and that's but then the subtlety. Few. So he has to seem to be impartial, even though he doesn't believe it. He still has to relay it as if, he's going to be fair, even though it sucks. But yeah, it's Troy's weirdly absent in all of this, and come on, Troy, this is your time to shine.
Yeah. Then we get a commercial break.
Just the way she's passive about it. She doesn't even say, "Oh, I know you think you're right." It's weird.
Salute, Samuel.
Oh.
Captain on deck. Justin Hampton has joined the ranks of the channel at the rank of captain. So thank you, Justin.
Captain Justin Hampton.
Much appreciated. So then we get a commercial break, and when we come back, there's this lady in sickbay who's like being taken care of, and all of a sudden we get Worf chime in. And he says, evacuate sickbay, doctor. Radiation emissions detected in sickbay. Mm-hmm. So they walk out, and you see the radiation start fizzling through the wall. And then next scene, Data's there, and he's like, "It's the same radiation that we saw on deck 39." You mean 29? Because that's what you said on the bridge. But now it's deck 39. I don't even know if there's R39 decks on that ship. Small thing, but
That's funny.
so we find out it's highly focused and very powerful. And Wesley chimes in and says, "We've actually noticed that the events occur every 5 hours, 23 minutes, and 3 seconds apart. However, there's a slight 0.0014 second variance that we can't account for." And
I like Riker being... So he's connected to the station, and Data shoots him down very professionally, like, "We can't say that yet, with no real..." And Riker's like,
yeah.
It's nice. It's a very subtle little moment, but it's like Data is trying to... Because Data doesn't know. He's colder. As much as Data can be, he's colder.
Yeah.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
And Justin says, by the way, "Oh, you guys," for us being a bit...
Oh, and there's 42 decks on the Enterprise E. Thank you, Justin.
It's a pretty tall ship.
Yeah. But just there's a discrepancy of 10 decks, so it's fine.
It's funny. I like it.
So we find out that there's just over 5 hours until the next one. So Picard's like, "We'll see what you can do. If we can't figure out what's causing it, we're going to leave orbit before the next one. If you can't find out the source of the cause, because you don't want to damage the ship anymore. Because they say if this hits the antimatter tanks or the reactor, we're screwed."
Yeah, it's going to burn through whatever it touches. End of story. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we get introduced to actually the assistant lady who actually gets some stuff to do, and she wasn't. We don't see the first part again, but we see a new part.
Yes.
Well, we were going to see a new part, but in fact, we see the original part through the Doctor's telling her, and so it's a word of mouth.
It's hearsay. And Picard makes that point. This is hearsay. This shouldn't be admissible as evidence. And they're like, well, in our jurisdiction, in our justice system, this is perfectly valid. So
Yeah,
Picard's like, we will listen to it, and we'll see.
Well, we'll listen to this evidence.
Yeah.
Because the fact is, the guy was... I mean,
weighed accordingly, he says.
Yeah, because the guy, the dead doctor chap, isn't necessarily going to lie to her, but he's seeing from his perspective, who is incredibly biased. He's the one been wronged, and then she's inferred things based on his body language, and then she might have a... although she's the most neutral one here, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but again, she's telling a totally non-neutral. But I guess it's like they want all the evidence possible. Is what the government pure think in the alien race. It's like every bit of possible evidence of any kind, just try and tell the story. Because it is interesting, I mean, hearing the other side. Because in this version, they're making out.
Yeah, both of them are into it. He comes in and says, "You didn't think I'd catch you together? I saw how you two were looking at each other," implying that they were both at fault.
Yep.
Which is different than the other two versions.
Yep. And she's lost the outer set of clothing, which is another subtlety.
Yeah. And then Riker's like, "You're a dead man, Apgar. A dead man." Oh, he punches him first, and then says, "You're a dead man, Apgar."
Brutally beats him up. Brutally, Stuart.
The old Doctor beats up this first officer, Starfleet first officer.
He's a big man. Yeah. But
Riker yells at him.
But I mean, is this not the most honest account in some ways? Not the second half, because he's, okay, I beat him up, sure. But if he saw them kissing, he might assume the worst, but also, this is the important bit of information, is that they were both into it. If that's what he sensed, it's not rape, it's not whatever, it's both. Whereas Riker might try and hide his emotions, and she might, but there's not, and the lady's not going to lie about this, why would she? Because it makes the wife look bad. Do you know what I mean? So or is that putting too much emphasis on it? Because it kind of feels like this is an important... They kind of gloss over this start, but the fact they're both making out feels important.
Again, it's his point of view. It's how he interpreted the situation. And when you're angry, when you're upset, and you're telling somebody else, you wouldn't say, "I got punched in the face and hit the floor. I hit him and I won." Things like that. So it is important, but it's less important because it is his version of it through someone else.
But I mean, he didn't say Riker's kissing her or she's kissing him. It's they're kissing each other. That was his exact remembering of it that happened minutes ago. He goes and tells her.
Well, it could be her version of it. This is her version of the story. It could be that he said to her they were kissing. Not implying that they were both like into it, but
the thing is,
just.
But the guy would want to think better of his wife. So you'd assume
It depends how their marriage was.
Well, exactly. So he knows his wife better. So he's looking at this and sensing it. I'm just trying to say that the fact that he's now badmouthed his wife to his assistant, from what he saw.
Or maybe he wants to get with the assistant.
Sure, but that's never alluded to. Like it would have been another context if the assistant turned out she fancied the doctor at another level, like she killed them. But I just find it interesting that this is the only time we get to see this. It's like it was super consensual. So where is the truth? You know, Riker is a ladies' man, but maybe she'd come on to him and they kiss briefly. You know, it's just I find it interesting.
Yeah. So this is where he tells her, you know, I want you and my wife to beam down to the planet. Do not tell the authorities. I'll take care of this on my own. And that's the last she remembers. And that's basically the end of the playback. And then the prosecutor says, so I've established motive, method, and opportunity. Yeah. And in the Federation, on many worlds, that's all that's required. This is going to full trial now. We want the extradition of Riker, essentially. We want him on a planet.
Proved. Go. Yeah.
Yeah. And then commercial break.
Yeah. And this is where I was like, okay, so what's the bonus one? Oh, there isn't. Oh.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. Just I thought it was gonna be another level.
Let me get.
Yeah, what's this scene? I don't remember what they say.
Okay, the ready room scene. They're both saying, "Of course, we know he didn't do it, but I can't let my personal opinion get in the way. The evidence demands a trial. I'll have to allow the extradition." Mm-hmm. And then he gets a communication from LaForge who says, "We've found the source of the radiation." So they go out to the bridge, and then we find out it's the ground generator that's emitting the radiation on a regular basis, or the signal anyway.
Yes. Well, they don't make that clear. They do very much imply it's the thing on the ground.
Yeah, harmless lambda field generator that wasn't turned off after the station exploded because it was sending the beams up to the station for the experiments. And then Geordi tops it all off with not only do we find out what's causing the situation, but we also found out who killed Dr. Abgar.
Yeah. And you're thinking, oh.
So they've solved it all already. They know what's causing the radiation damage to the Enterprise. They know who killed them. And which I don't remember this part.
No.
Because it's very...
abrupt.
Oh, yeah, we found the thing. Oh, yeah, and by the way, Riker's fine. We know who killed him.
It's too abrupt. It doesn't quite work.
Yeah. Anyway, it's fine.
But the cleverness of what did happen is great.
Yeah.
I just wish there was that one other link, one more bit of the chain. Yeah.
So.
But everyone's there. They've all got stoic faces on.
Picard's doing his, I know the answer. I'm superior now.
Well, he also has to blag for 4 minutes before the thing happens, to be fair.
Yeah. And he goes on to say, Dr. Apgar said he had failed to create Krager waves.
Yeah.
I maintain that he made that breakthrough.
Yes, and he uses evidence from every single person's recording.
Well, before that, though, he says, we've actually established that the waves are coming from inside the holodeck. Him and Geordi are having a discussion as they're walking around before the recreation. He says, well, how's that possible? The holodeck isn't designed to do anything harmful. And it says, well, actually, this thing just acts like a series of mirrors or focusing beams that focuses the energy that's being directed up from the planet. So basically, they created it in such detail that the focusing beams are just doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah. And that's
pretty amazing. I'll be honest, that's pretty bloody amazing that they could do that. But that said, it's simple. It's like a T-1000. He can't make anything that complicated, but he can still make the thickest knives possible that are amazing. Well, yeah, they're simple. Yeah. It's still effective. So if all it is just carefully tuned mirrors that you've got schematics for, Sure, why not? And it would have been nice if they'd said, not this important, but the thing on the ground was more important. Because otherwise it was just, we had to get crystals focusing in a certain way. Because that means they've got the schematics for working Krieger waves done.
Yeah, they do.
Never brought, I mean, not this important, but never brought it up. But it's, it's a fun idea. I like the idea.
Yeah. So they start the replay back.
Many playbacks.
And he's calling up different time indexes from different depositions.
All of them.
And he makes a point of saying the rewards that come with it. Because at one point she says it, at one point the other guy says it.
Yep.
And he was eager to give you the reward you wanted. And she's like, is that so bad?
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes on to say, well, he wouldn't have gotten great rewards from Starfleet. Mm-hmm. All Starfleet was interested in was a new power source. Mm-hmm. But if he could turn this into a weapon, it could be worth a lot to people like the Romulans, the Ferengi. And the fact that he was ordering extra diconcilium for months was a good indicator that he was trying to make larger reflector coils. And he let his paranoia get best of him. He thought Starfleet knew about it. That's why they showed up early. That's why Riker was a little bit, combative. So when they arrived early, he thought Starfleet was getting suspicious. He needed more time to finish his work. He said that in all three versions that we saw. Let's see here. No doubt he was afraid that Commander Riker might learn the truth and cut off his support prematurely. And then finding Commander his wife didn't help matters. So he had a plan to murder Riker. So to solve his problems of Riker reporting back, and also his wife's situation.
But he didn't commit until... It wasn't going to murder until he realised that he was going to report. Well, he thought he knew more than he did. Although briefly, Double Guitar
Riker didn't have a goddamn clue.
No, he didn't. Which I love that. But Double Guitar says it was the sheer fucking hubris that killed him.
Yeah, I saw that comment.
That's good. I like it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that it is a piece of every story that puts it together, and that that it actually makes.
It makes the truth somewhere in the middle because they use everybody's depositions to find out the truth.
But it's truth when you. It's only the truth because you know the extra context. The fact that the deceit is actually the villain. And I totally forgot he was going to make this weapon and sell. That's a bloody twist. That's a good twist because he's trying to get more resources from Starfleet to make it to sell on for his wife, sure. But I mean, if it's going to be a weapon, it's like, oh, he's a bit of a dodgy guy. Guy there.
But it makes me wonder too, though. Like if he needs more diconcilium and he wants to make a deal with the Romulans or the Ferengi, I'm sure he could get that from them.
But he might have to prove that it can be turned into a weapon. So you need the prototype first.
Probably, yeah.
And there's definitely other ways. But he's not. Smart men are not necessarily smart at. The difference between book smarts, street smarts, and illegal weapons trade smarts.
Yes.
But it's a really good twist. It would have been nice. Yeah, it would have been nice if it was sprinkled in a bit more because it is out of nowhere. I don't know if you would agree because the other things I'll give you whatever you want could mean anything. It doesn't link to this as a weapon. Like there's nothing I saw as a link to that. That
being said, there's clues in each one. The diconcilium is mentioned in each one. The needing more time is mentioned. The rewards are mentioned, and I love that because it pulls it all together.
But it just links to he's not done yet.
Better than a lot of mystery shows, put it that way.
Well,
it honestly is. Where just the answer comes out of nowhere, and there's no way that you could even guess the solution.
But it doesn't link to a weapon, it just links to he's not done. It would have been nice if we'd seen, like, on a pad, a Romulan symbol, or,
That'd be too much.
Well, but would it? I mean, there's just stuff everywhere. I just think there's no link to the weapon part. Yes, to something dodgy, maybe, but it would have been nice to have added a little bit.
The fact that we don't know what diconcilium is for, as an audience, if we knew that it would make bigger coils, which could turn this thing to be much more powerful than just a power source, then we might have more of a clue as what the hell's going on when they mention it.
Yeah, but you need bigger coils for a bigger diversion to power more stuff.
True.
Although Jeff Jacobs...
That should have been said in dialogue then, because that would have worked.
Jeff Jacobs, no one actually knew the real truth. They deduced it.
Yes, deduction. Jarzia throws in $5 Canadian. Dr. Apgar killed Dr. Apgar because Dr. Apgar found out that Dr. Apgar was sleeping with Dr. Apgar's wife. Jealousy, the classic motive for murder. Goddamn, man. Yeah, that the Dr. Apgar from the other version was sleeping with my wife in this
Mirror
version.
universe.
Anywho.
Also, Squad Core says it's interesting that Troy didn't detect any deception from the wife if the wife knew about the husband making a weapon and failed to mention. But she didn't, though.
She didn't know.
He was trying to make it bigger to hopefully sell it.
And they didn't have a communicative relationship.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like he was a workaholic. She was underappreciated and felt so. She was
also
just
didn't
abandoned
care
on the
about
station.
The research.
Yeah. So he wouldn't necessarily be telling her what's going on. Plus, he wanted to shower her with rewards after the fact.
Yes.
And he knew that Starfleet wasn't going to give him anything as far as that goes. So.
And she might not approve. So it's better just to do it and then see if she'll be okay with all the money.
Better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission.
Especially when forgiveness equals a Lamborghini. Space Lamborghini. I bought you a Constitution class because I'm that rich. But it's... I definitely buy Riker's side where she dismisses his research. Because, Marie doesn't like to talk about Star Trek all the time because she doesn't know about it. Why would she care? Not everyone wants to hear about the stuff we like.
Exactly.
It's not relevant to them. But yeah, then you get this slow build into how and why he killed. It's a good little thing, and then they time code it so that it links in.
Before they do the time code, though, they ask what he's doing. They ask his assistant, what's he doing over in that panel?
Yes. Sorry.
He's activating a generator on the planet.
Yeah.
Well, why is he doing that?
Don't know, basically.
Yeah. So then they time sync it up.
Yeah.
With the actual generator that's going to be emitting the real pulse. And it starts. And then they speculate that the Doctor energized the beam right at the moment of Riker's transport to make the death look like a transporter accident. And the distance from reflecting from the transporter beam back to the thing is a difference, which is a variation of 0.0014 seconds that they couldn't explain earlier. So I loved that.
But the fact they couldn't... He says, the detective says, it's a nice hypothesis. How would you prove it? And they say, well, this is an exact reproduction. We prove it by doing it again, which is a beautiful...
By blowing us all up.
Well, yeah. I wish we didn't know... I wish the reveal had been... they didn't know this was real. And he'd said, that's a great simulation, Mr. Ford, but how do you know it would work? And he says, oh, no, that was real. What? That was real. Yeah. The fact that you know takes a little bit away. Only a smidge. But, I mean, they're not interested in surprising anybody. But it's great if this is the real event. It would have been nice to say that's dangerous because it blew up a space station. Why wouldn't energy be, if it blows...
It's putting holes in your ship as well, so...
Yeah. It would surely damage the holo... It would have been nice if they blew the holo grid out and they'd said, we sacrificed the entire holo matrix for this as a proof. Like, this is destroyed now, but we can fix it. But it's a very visceral thing to happen, and it's... I like the guy's little bit of acting of, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, well, that's not meant to happen.
The explosion was interesting. And then the fallout from it, the sparks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the slow pan over to the table.
No, it's...
So we find out that Dr. Apgar killed himself during his attempt to kill Commander Riker.
Yep. It's a great... Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't really thinking. But also it was random. I mean, if that hit 1 meter to the left, it would have blown the window and killed him by asphyxiation. But, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get the hologrid. And boy, what a beautiful art design. The simplest possible thing. It's so damn effective.
Yep.
So effective.
If only we had an episode about holodecks. Oh, it's on my desktop. Still got to do that. All right. Anyway. So he killed himself essentially trying to murder Riker. And the prosecutor's like, based on this new evidence, I withdraw my request for Riker's extradition. And he says, Commander Riker, my apologies.
Yes.
Loved it. I love that he wasn't an asshole. He's just doing his job.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I'm surprised we didn't get any dialogue from the wife.
Well, she seemed shocked. She didn't know any of this happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, some dialogue from her would have been nice.
This is where the episode... This scene is fine, mostly, but then it wraps up like that, and way too happy. Because,
ooh. Double guitars make a good point. Wait, they dragged the desk in there?
Real desk.
Well, it was it was separate from the simulation of the station, so that's why it stayed. Would be my assumption.
Yeah, that's the lawyer program 1B. The other one is
the station recreation. Yeah.
Because if it didn't destroy the hologrid, it just destroyed what's in the program. No, it's fine. Wouldn't it be embarrassing if they all just went, ugh! Ow!
Fall on their asses. Yeah, we blew up the hologrid. Goddamn.
And that was a big crater. But I do think that I like the fact that it's ambiguous what really happened with Riker and her. It's a good way of ending, because then you are left to have your own device. But to not have her say anything to Riker, even because like with Maddox and Data, right? That end moment of leaving each other, that's really important to the scene, to the episode. So her saying, "Look, whatever happened, Riker, it wasn't your fault. I accept that. Maybe I did think you were attractive, but whatever might have happened, I don't know how you'd write that because it's dangerous water to go into, but you are left thinking, what the hell happened? Yeah. Is Riker a perv? Is she a bit of a whatever? Because the way she acts is so not happy. And it's just kind of dropped. Like literally just, done. And we're happy ending after, even though he maybe raped her, but not really because they said rape. It's like, okay, well, we have a little bit of a link here, but it's so happy an ending. It's too positive for me.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, and then the end scene where they're like, hey, let's leave the system. Riker, take us out.
And how slow can we go? Warp 3. Great.
We got no more business here. I'm happy to get out of here.
Yeah. So, but that we are finding that as being a regular thing. I don't know if I ever thought that in my first watches, how quick wrap-ups are. Because they are weirdly quick in this show.
It becomes very evident when you're doing reviews of storylines, unfortunately. But as a viewer, it's like, that's satisfying. It's ended. It's an end to it, It's an episodic thing, so hopefully we can complain more about wrapped up endings with Strange New Worlds. That wrapped up quickly, but at least it was a goddamn episode. It ended. You know what I mean? So,
because I definitely, I think TOS probably handled them better with having that. When they had them seen with the triumvirate, it's like there's the extra bit of something. Yeah.
And Jeff, yes, I did notice that when Riker closed the door, he gave the button a slide motion. So did she. They slid it and closed the door. That was very cool.
So, Stuart, we have reached the end of our review. I think we're on a closer kilter this week, or this weekend, this episode. Shall I go first with my review, thoughts, and score to shake up a bit? And so you can do my thing, where I would normally say, put your scores in. So you can do that, and I'll give my review, and then
put your scores in. Super chat scores I'll read because I'm the captain. It's my job, and the commander will read any non-super chat scores for this episode. So for season 3 and for TNG, put them in the chat and super chat them, please. And don't forget the last super chat slot.
We'd love to know. $25 would be great. We've had a really good one this week. Hey, thank you guys, and the 60 from one chap is bloody amazing. But we sort of 25 more would be really, really good. So yeah, season 3, episode 14. It is an episode that it was well written, well acted, good premise. Needed 10 more minutes. Didn't need the first scene, but it's better because of it. But that's just a piece of character work. I love the alternate acting takes. It's really good. One of the cheaper episodes, but it shows how you can make a brilliant piece of sci-fi with a limited budget, limited effects, limited sets. This is called clever, and it's almost fully satisfactory, except the little bit of the wrap up at the end. We just went through why. But yeah, everyone's good, except, like I said, the slight plot holy vibe of, well, he didn't have a phaser at the start. You know, like
that was never even talked about in the actual,
but there was no other level, and there should have been. Maybe it could have been the assistant trying to kill them or something. Something else. I don't know what, but another level would have been cool. That classic in heist movies where, well, actually, the whole time this was happening.
Misdirection.
Yeah, that would have been great. But then it would have taken off of Riker's journey. But obviously, we know he didn't do it. So. But it's good. My scores for season 3, I'm gonna give it a See, my gut is 7 for each. Because this is better for all of TNG than it is for Season 3. Because Season 3 has some really good ones. But this is well beyond average. But I don't know how much I can give it less good for this season. Because it's not as good in this season as... Like, this was Season 1 or 2 would be much higher. So I don't know, maybe 6.5 for this season and 7 for all TNG. Because it is better in the grand scheme than for this season, I think. But there's nothing wrong with it. But I can't give it a 7.5 for all TNG because that's really high. So I guess 7 for each is fair, but it is a better overall TNG. Because it could be in any season and still be good. Just in this season, it's lost a little bit. But yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
Cool. All right. Well, I mean, my review, I love the opening scene because anytime, naked women is fine. That was great. Totally unnecessary, but,
And tastefully done. I mean...
Well, it absolutely was. Okay. But this was fun. Like you said, I mean, I mirror a lot of what you said. The dialogue was good. It was well written. Like I said also, it was better than a lot of crime dramas you see on TV. As far as actually dropping little hints in the recreations so you can figure it out, and they tie it all together, which I loved.
And the acting was better as well. They really cared.
Yes.
Everyone really was in this role. Which is
Picard was awesome in this role. Yeah. This was a great one for Picard.
And again, makes you think, when Jonathan Frakes said Patrick's doing some of his best work in Picard, then you think, no, he really isn't.
Yeah.
He's doing his best work 25 years ago in TNG.
Plus, great way to represent the holodeck and what the holodecks can be used for. I thought that was fantastic. And like I said at the beginning of this too, I do enjoy these kind of he said, she said things where they recreate the same scene but from a different view. I think that's great. So I really like that. And we get to see Regular One again. Come on.
Regular 76.
Yes. So lots of really good stuff in this one, and satisfactory.
But it doesn't excel though. Doesn't quite excel. Also good stuff doesn't quite hit the Doesn't quite.
Yeah, but it's a super enjoyable one.
It is. It is.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a nice little package. It's a good episode. It really is. So I'm going to have to kind of go with what you were originally going to go with, and that's 7 out of 10 for season 3, and 7 out of 10 for all of TNG. I'm going to have to give it the same across.
Yeah.
But it's not like all starships and fighting, and it's not all the Borg or the Klingons or the Romulans. It's I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of in its own little Star Trek universe within the Star Trek universe. It's good.
It's a very Star Trek story with a Star Trekky message, and it uses the Star Trek universe, and it's clever.
And it uses the characters well.
Yeah, it doesn't need
Except
to have
Troy.
Yes, and Worf and Beverly, but I mean you get a lot of Riker. Yeah,
but at least Worf and Beverly were themselves. Troy's like, oh yeah, I know you can do it, but I wasn't sensing any deception. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's I think to make it higher, because 7 is good but not brilliant. It doesn't quite hit that just for whatever reason. Although I think, like I said, if this was season 2, it would have been an 8.5.
Oh yeah, it would have been a lot higher for season 2.
So it's a weird scale to give, because
would have been a 10 for season 1.
Oh, probably yeah, just by the writing. So it's a really weird score to give. But I think to really up it, have another level of complexity, lose the first scene, give us another recreation, add another level of depth, something else, something else.
Yeah. We got some super chat scores, which is awesome. So let me read those. We got
25. Let's see.
We got Dementia with $2. Season 3, 7.5. Really liked the pacing.
Yeah.
And for all TNG, 5.5.
Oh, really? Okay.
So very middle of the road, which is good.
Okay.
Ozzy puts in $15.
Ooh.
Ozzy, you are incredible. Thank you.
Oh, kicking ass.
This episode gets an 8.6 out of 10. Trekyards gets a 10 out of 10. And Skeleton Hands, of course.
He's crazy.
He is. We all have skeleton hands underneath our flesh. Eugene puts in 500 rubles. 7.5 out of 10. Isn't that Mark Margolis? Who's Mark Margolis? What?
Yes, it is. Well done. He's 80 right now.
Oh, well, there you go. Jarzia throws in $5 Canadian.
Thank you.
6 for season 3.
Okay.
5 for TNG.
Okay.
Some interesting stuff, and I like how unreliable it shows eyewitness statements can be. It's uncomfortable to watch, though, and plot holes. Plus plot holes. There's only one massive plot hole for me, and that's the phaser. That really bugged me, because when I saw him beam in, I wasn't thinking about the rest of the episode. I saw him beam in, and there's no weapon. There's not even one on his hip. Like, there's a possibility.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, okay, well, what?
Yeah, it's a small thing, literally phaser, but yeah, it's but it isn't about that. It's about, you know, he's being wrongly accused because, like I say, he's the hero. Like, do you ever really think Kirk did this or this or that? You don't really, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
And Olivia Julius puts in $5.
Thank you.
I give this 4.5.
Yes. It's good.
Out of 5. They're always out of 5 for some reason, not 10. So.
Well, there'll be a lot of Foley's face seeing one pitch when one.
But Ian, everyone wants that though.
Yeah. So I think we need another $7. I'm going to say to get whatever. So $7 before we leave. $7. But yeah, solid one. I always enjoy this one. It's the sort of cerebral stuff I enjoy, and I'm really glad.
And let's get a few more likes. Jeff's calling for likes. Let's get more likes, guys.
Only
88 people here.
What? How is that right,
One
Stuart?
person hasn't hit like. Hit like.
99? Oh, at least 110 we should have. Come on, guys. If you have not clicked like, you must click. It's free. Come on. Both should read the non-super chat scores.
Yes.
Let's see what. So we both gave 7. Let's see what everyone else says. So 5 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10 says Raj. Damn.
Wow.
7 for both TNG, Jeff. So I'm in 6 for all Trek. 8 by Danny. Squadron Course 8 out of 10. Becky 7.5. Cool. Matt 7 out of 10 for this episode. Matt Boardman. Damien 7 out of 10 for season 3. 5 for all TNG. So yep, 7. Ryan K 6.5. Perspectives. 7, 7.5, 7, 6.5, 7, 7, 7.
Pretty universal.
Pretty universal, yeah. And it's funny, I don't even know why I'm saying, you know what I mean, why a 7, but it's a gut reaction of it. It's good, but not amazing.
This is one I didn't overthink. I'm mull over all day. What am I going to give this?
Yep.
I waited until we talked about it, and 7 came to mind.
Yep.
So
it's happily above average.
Yeah.
But it doesn't quite hit that amazing.
I wanted to hear your views on it to really base my score, and I'm surprised that we're so...
It doesn't happen a lot these days, actually. We have a lot of which is good. Which is good.
Because I can't stand you anymore. We've been together for 6 years, and you don't treat me right. You never buy me chocolates. You never take me out anywhere special.
Look, I would kiss you all the time, but you're too far away, man. You're too far away. Social distancing, we're really taking that to the extreme here. You're hundreds of miles. You know. Anyway, and next...
We did get our $7 super chat from Olivia.
Olivia!
Take the card fertilizer, though. We got to put up with that for the $7, which is fine.
That's okay. Crops need to be fertilized. It's fine. But Stuart, the next one is arguably the best episode of TNG, and one of the best of all Trek. And I will bring up the... Oh, wow, I moved an OBS bar I've never done before. Oops. Okay, I fixed it. I was like, don't move. So let's bring up, and this is a tricky one because we both went into the data one. The famous, Measure of Man. I think both of us thinking, okay, we know it's meant to be amazing, but what are we gonna say? Because neither of us like the hype for some episodes, right? Is that fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
This one is ships, costumes, alternate universes, time travel, Tasha, battle, Guinan, everything that we like. You know what I mean? So this is going to be an interesting one. Will this live up to the hype? I mean, I've seen this one probably more than most episodes of TNG. It's always a good to rewatch.
Yeah. And
I remember one of my favourite moments of this story, anecdote-wise, is that when I was doing double, because early on in Trekyards, you did your scripts, and I would like do double research to kind of see what you might have like not seen, like the little things, and do the gun badge. And I was like, I remembered seeing that in this episode, what's his name?
Castillo.
Thank you. Castillo uses his comm badge. It's a quick half second, but he uses it, and I was, I just remembered it vaguely, and then
it's this style. It's just style combat.
Yeah, and so I was able to change the script and say combat started like 90 years earlier than when we thought, which I thought was quite a fun scoop. And I remember telling Rick Sternback that, and he was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, cool." So I was able to tell Rick Sternback his technology came in 90 years earlier, and that's a really fun moment to be able to say. So that's my little anecdote from this one. That it's very subtle, but it's a distinct choice. So credit.
I'm gonna rate it now. It's 10 out of 10 for season 3. 10 out of 10 for all of Trek. It is one of the best Trek episodes.
Oh,
Anyway, we'll talk about it next time. I don't know if that's going to be tomorrow or next week.
Well,
but
why don't we start my 27th year on the Earth with the best Trek episode ever?
So you want to do it on Monday?
Yeah, let's do it next week.
Okay, so we're going to do this episode on Monday. So watch it on the weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
You're reviewing it then, and tomorrow we'll come up with something interesting to talk about. It won't be a review though.
You know what I have to do though, Stuart? Okay, I tell you what, guys. If we can get $50 more, I will wear Wrath of Khan uniform for that entire yesterday's Enterprise episode.
I don't have one to wear.
You have TNG though.
I do have TNG.
Put on TNG, and then we can share the screen.
That's very interesting. I like that.
And I'm sure you have a white belt as well. Like you could probably fake the extra bit.
That I'd have to check.
Can we get a radical fan to put $50, and I will wear the full Wrath of Khan outfit for Monday, and Stuart will wear that. I know it's a lot to ask, but that's a pretty cool thing to be able to do because I like that outfit. It's a bit of a commitment to put on.
It's a good idea. Most good uniforms are a commitment to put on.
Yeah.
Jeff Jacobs puts in $2.05. 100. If it's not blue, you did not do yet. So hit that like button, guys. We at least hit 100, so that's good.
Oh, and this can be cumulative. So if 5 people want to put in 10, like, it doesn't have to be one person 50. So if you want to put in some 10s, we've still got 15 minutes of the live. So we've got 15 minutes. If you want to get 5 10s, I will count that. Do not worry, guys. I would like
more super chats to read.
What?
They got more super chats to read.
You do?
I do.
Oh,
Squadra Course, $1.99 or $2, and says last super chat. And Olivia puts in $2 and says last. And SWTX Chaser puts in $2 and says last. And Mark Lawrence puts in $10 and says here's a tenner. So we only need 40 more. Olivia Julius puts in 5. I'll give you 50 if you wear Uhura's dress uniform on a live. LOL. That's not how you spell Uhura. But that's okay. So now we need 35. There's 50 from Jarzia. 50 Canadian.
And then plus the 10, plus the 5. That should be about it. I think that's it.
Thank you, Jarzia. When you're sweating like crazy, just remember you asked for this. See, I should have the TNG. I should have the Wrath Khan uniform because it is cold in my basement because of our central air conditioning.
Yeah, our original TNGs are not warm. They are thin.
Yes. Well, I'll have a t-shirt underneath because, goddamn.
I will not.
But yeah. Okay, I'll be wearing a TNG uniform that day, and he will be wearing a Wrath of Khan uniform. I want to get a Wrath of Khan uniform, though. We should do a fundraiser for that, because I want one.
Extremely expensive. If I realised, I would never have spent the money. But once you're committed, you're kind of committed.
Yeah.
It's way more expensive than you think. I mean, I think you can guess how much, but it's not worth it. But then when you have it, you're like, yeah, but all that credit card money was a year ago.
Oh, and Jarzia makes a good point. Technically, you can ditch the undershirt, so it'll be thinner.
I don't want to, though. It looks shitty without.
But that's what it is in the episode, though.
But I don't want what I don't that. Oh, do I have to be canon accurate?
Ooh, that's a good question. Olivia Julius though puts in $2 and says last. So she's got the last super chat slot as of now.
But I don't want to wear the crappy version.
Oh, we got.
Do they not, I don't think they even have the belt. Do they have the belt? They do have the belt.
Yeah, they have the belt. Yeah, they do. I think.
Oh, it's Crusher. It's Crusher.
It's Crusher that doesn't have the belt.
Yeah. Okay.
So they basically just took shit away from the uniform as they went on.
Literally. Yep.
And Fergus Hancock puts in $12 Australian.
Cool.
And stickers of myself, the commander, and then both of us, Team Trekyards, together. So thank you.
Team Trekyards.
And Olivia Julius, $1. She's got the last super chat slot again. And Ryan K agrees it looks totally done without the undershirt. It does. It looks fucking awful. It looks even worse without the belt.
Yes, and I had it without the belt. The belt was one of the last things I'd had, and you put it on and it brings it together. You're like, oh, that now it looks good because it brings the waist in. You need that seriously.
Yeah.
And Danny R asks or says there's a mistake. This is Enterprise. Can you spot it? Yes, Geordie doesn't swap uniforms at the end, which I think is a hilarious little. I mean, it just shows you, and you can really sense in the episode they tried for a lot of bang for the buck, and they just long. That was like, 12th hour on the last day. Quick, get LeVar in set. Film. Okay, we're done. Oh shit, he went from the bridge to that. We didn't change uniform. But hey, I will accept that. It's fine.
Maybe he liked the uniform so much he replicated one on the way down there. Thought these are kind of spiffy. Maybe I'll wear it in my cosplay.
Maybe. Oh yeah, because they got the different collars. Yeah, it's the different collars. I just zoomed back onto it. I don't remember the collars being a thing, but they are, aren't they? Interesting. Yeah, they just want to add more black, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'm just double checking if it's got the belt or not. Is it nice that we have such memory space in our brain designated to remember if in one episode of a 1989 TV show if a uniform had a belt or not? I mean, come on, that's commitment to our insanity right there.
Some would say commitment. Some would say obsession.
Oh, no. Doesn't have a belt.
Seriously?
Castile doesn't have a belt when he's walking down the corridor. I mean, I did say don't have a belt for a reason. I mean, yeah, maybe he doesn't.
I could swear that
he doesn't have a belt. No. Yeah, I could have sworn too. He does a belt loop. Interesting.
Still has a belt loop, but no belt. Oh, yeah.
I mean, but it doesn't look as bad when they're wearing it. That's weird. But they're literally just wearing a jacket and... What's the... Oh, wait. Does the trousers even have the red stripe? I'm watching his...
Prune juice is a warrior's drink.
Oh, it does.
It's in $2 with a sticker that says here.
Yeah, prune juice is introduced finally. Finally! In this episode.
You, Jill. She changed her name again for this episode, so...
Okay, so I'm not allowed to wear a belt or a turtleneck.
Right.
I have to wear okay. You're going to see a lot of my neck tomorrow, or Monday. Whereas you have to wear a belt. You have to find a belt somehow. And like a shoulder strap.
You're not going to see the belt, so I'll be sitting down.
I know, we have to show it off to the people. Yeah.
I don't know if I have a white belt.
Just get some paper and make it into a thing, it's fine.
Oh my god.
Well, you've got a phaser as well, Oh dear.
Oh dear. All right. Well, there you go. We'll be doing it live tomorrow. Thank you, Olivia, for the last super chat of $1. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
But we're going to be doing it live tomorrow. We're not sure what topic it'll be on. It won't be a review, but we'll do something fun. And then I might do one or two on the weekend. And then, of course, Monday will be the best episode of Star Trek ever. Almost. Probably up there. Definitely one of the top 5.
Is that one worth having like a out of all Trek score?
That's rough. That's rough. Maybe we'll have to talk about that.
Because it is in the top like 25 of all Trek episodes of all time. Like it is absolutely in the top 25 for me and you.
It's a good question. We'll talk about it.
Alrighty. Thanks so much, guys. This was a brilliant one. You guys have been absolutely incredible. Great way to start to finish the month. And like I said, do join in for our drunk live either Saturday the 13th or Sunday the 14th. It will be probably quite messy, but again, that is up to you guys. And I do intend to do costume swappy thing because that was really fun when I did my. I did them when I did my drunk one, didn't I? And the ambassador had to come in and vamp, and I got more drunk. And I had to keep swapping, and that was great. That was that was difficult. My bed was not okay with that because I had so many things. Just anyway.
Dan23 says, like the lives where we do a super chat a ship and you talk about it. We'll do something like that tomorrow. Maybe not ships, maybe robots or space stations.
Props, costumes, tech, something.
Cars.
I mean, I would have thoughts.
I'm sure you would.
Like, as in 2 of them. That's a thing. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, guys, have a great everything.
Thank you, guys.
See you tomorrow. It's been brilliant.
Bye. We love you.
Bye.